Okay guys, so my first video ended up being so long, actually, well, yeah, the video altogether, that I decided to put this natural dyeing segment as its own separate video because I was going on for like 45 minutes. So I am going to just say hi. My name is Lisa. I am coming to you from Long Island, New York. You are watching the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. And this is the segment of episode 33 where I am showing off everything that I have naturally dyed, and I am asking you guys for a ton of input because I am getting ready within the next couple of weeks or a month to open up an Etsy shop to bring all of these beautiful skeins of yarn to you, my viewers. Yeah, I don't want to part with it, but I must because my stash is out of control and I just want to keep dyeing more and more and more. And so I'm gonna have to let most of this go. So I have lots of questions, input that I am asking for in this one. So please let me know what you guys think along the way in the comments below. And with that introduction, let's move to the footage that I already filmed, showing you all this beautiful yarn. Okay. Guys, I have this big box full of all the yarn that I ordered to dye. It is now all dyed. I am getting ready to order more yarn this weekend so that I can do more dyeing projects because I have so many things in the wings just waiting for yarn. I don't know when exactly I'm gonna have this available for you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna put up just what I have done so far because it's really not that much. I mean, this looks like a big box, but it's like, well, I felted 3 skeins early on. So it was 30 skeins and I'm not gonna sell anything that I felted. I never felt yarn. I have never felted yarn. And then of course when I like buy yarn, you know what it was? It was the singles because I had never dyed singles before, and it happens in the rinsing process. So I am now uber super duper careful when I rinse my yarn now because that was like really frustrating. I had 3 skeins of beautiful yarn and then it looked gorgeous coming out of the dye pot and then I felted it. I think at some point it happens to everybody. It must happen to everybody. I've been doing this for 2 years. It had not yet happened to me, but okay. I cannot wait to show you guys what I did. Everything in here you have seen before in some states, but a lot of it has since changed because I told you guys last week or last episode I was gonna play with my iron rust water, and I did. You can see I haven't added anything more to this, so you can see this jar probably was this full because I used quite a bit of it. Yeah, and so I used it and I loved using it so much that I went to town trying to get more variety within like, what do I have, 27 skeins or something? Oh, I need to go grab one more. Hang on. Yeah, I need to go grab one more thing from inside the house to show you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab that. I don't think that one's gonna be for sale because that was not part of the original stuff. Yeah, so anyway, I had a lot of fun with my iron after bath this week, and I cannot wait to show you how things started out and how they changed. And yeah, all right, hang on. Okay, I am back. I am going to start actually with the one that's not going to be, I'm not going to be selling this one, but I want to show it to you. So All right, you guys, do you remember my pine cone yarn? This one? that I had started making a sweater out of, or a swatch for that summer folk sweater that I wore on the last episode. And we all decided that it was too close to my skin color for it to be a full sweater. So after I started playing with the iron afterbath a little bit, I decided that I wanted to see what would happen to my pine cone yarn, because I had 2 skeins of this. And being that I was not going to use this for sweater, I knew I was going to want to use it for color work. So I said, okay, well, let's see what happens to the pine cone yarn when I do an iron afterbath on it. You guys ready to see? All right, so this other skein looked exactly the same color. No, this is skeined up and not caked up, so. Ready? Look, this was this. And then I dipped it in iron and it became this. And now I have these 2 beautiful colors that work so well together. Okay, and I happened to have this dandelion yarn just in the same bag as my pine cone yarn. Look at how well these 3 colors go together. Do you guys think those look as nice together as I do? I might use these 3 colors together in like a shawl project or something. I just really like how these 3 are looking together. So yeah, if that gives you any hint of excitement for what I am about to show you out of my big box here, I'm so excited. I think playing with iron might be like my new favorite thing to do. All right, so I'm gonna put these back. Yeah, so I had these in the bag, like these 3 were just in the bag together, and I was like, those 3 colors look really nice together. So I'm excited. I think that I figured out a way to use my pine cone yarn without it not looking good on me, because I knew I was gonna have to combine it with other colors. So yeah, so I took that one of the 2 skeins and I changed the color on it. All right, that was really exciting. I'm gonna have to empty this box now all over and spread it out so that I can, yeah, I've got like 27 skeins in here that I need to show you guys. So buckle down, go get a drink. I will be right back after I lay this all out and figure out groups of what to show you guys, because it's a lot. Oh my goodness, you guys, there's so much beautiful yarn just laying around me here. So excited. I don't know which one to show you guys first. Okay, let's start with brown yarn, because I had so much brown yarn that I was interested in having less brown yarn just to have a little bit more variety within the small amounts of yarn I had. Because basically what I started with a couple shades of brown, a couple shades of yellow, and a couple shades of pink. And that's kind of what I had, right? So I wanted more variety than that, and I have gotten more variety. So I think we'll start with the oak leaves. It wasn't the first one I did with the iron, but it's one of the first yarns that I dyed, actually. So let me show you guys. So if you guys remember, my oak leaf yarn on this base that is 80%, so this is all organic yarn. There is no superwash yarn in this at all, okay? So, and that's something that's kind of important to me, is I'm not really sure that I want to delve into superwash, even though I know the colors can be brighter, because there's just something about using such natural things to color the yarn, but then doing it on a yarn that has plastic process on it. That just seems weird to me. I've done it, but for some reason I just don't want to buy superwash yarn. I just really want to keep this all organic. You guys can let me know what you think about that. Do you want me to include superwash yarn? Or I think these colors are just gorgeous enough, and I think I don't want to include superwash. So anyway, so this one is basically, it's a sock yarn. It is 80% merino, 20% nylon, and with oak leaves, this is the gorgeous color that we started out with. Now the ice cream man is coming. This is reminding me of previous episodes. Okay, so in an iron afterbath, this changed into this. So now we're diving into like gray territory, right? But it's like, it's not just like a pure gray, like it's so hard to capture. Like it has all the depth of this tannish, beigeish shade underneath it still. I don't know how much you guys can really see at all on camera. There is so much depth to these colors, and especially the ones that have been in the iron afterbath. It's like it retains the layer of this underneath. It doesn't just change it to gray. It's like a beige plus, or a tan plus, like whatever you want to call this brown. It's so pretty. So I have one of each of these colors, right? And then I did a half dipped skein. So then I have one that is both colors together in one skein. So I took like half of the skein and dipped it in the iron and kept the other half dyed with just the oak leaves, no iron addition to it at all. So I dipped half of it, and this is the beauty that resulted from that. So I have these 3 gorgeous skeins, and so this is all on the sock yarn, so it's the same base, and that is what we have. So I have another question for you guys too, as I am trying to figure out how to go about offering things in the shop when I do eventually open. Would you guys want, right now what I'm showing you today is everything I have. It is going to be such a small batch. We are talking like 27 skeins if I were to open like now before dyeing anything else. It is going to be so small. I'm thinking of holding off on opening, getting some more yarn, and dyeing up like another batch so that I have closer to like 50 or something. But it's still going to be pretty small amounts as I just start this up. So my question is, would you guys want these sold as a set? So it could be like either 3 of these together, since obviously these 3 would coordinate together, and then I see like some kind of fade situation could happen, like in a shawl or sweater or something, because what is this, like 400 yards, right? So, depends on your size. If you're a tiny person, you can get a sweater out of this. If you are not a tiny person, sometimes this is enough to eke out a sweater for me. Sometimes I need a little bit more, but it would definitely be enough for a shawl. So you guys could have some kind of faded shawl. What do you think? Would you want these offered as a set, as a fade, knowing that only one person could have this particular colorway? Or would you want it split up like these 2 together so that these would coordinate and this one just separate on its own? Or would you want all 3 just individually offered? I don't know what to do. But I do think that like this would make I do think it would make a beautiful fade, right? So that's an option. Okay, that was my oak leaf yarn. So instead of having 3 skeins of oak leaf, we now have this beautiful little set, which I just love it. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. Okay, next up, okay, so I have a bit more of this to show you, but it's on a couple of different bases. So I think we'll stick with browns, and I'm gonna show you how the black walnut came out. So I have all of this to show you. So pretty. I got so excited. Okay, so let's see. I'll save those because that's a singles, right? So, all right. I have, are these the same base? Yeah, this is no, these are different bases. So I kept one of each on each one of these bases. All right, so I have 3 different bases. This is 3 different bases of my black walnut that I left just from the original black walnut dye bath. So the very first dye bath I did produced this beautiful, like, medium depth of a brown. And I don't know if you guys remembered, like, the subsequent dips in the dye bath as I was exhausting the dye bath. We're starting to come out so much paler than this. They were still lovely, but I really liked the depth of color that I got with this first initial dye bath of the black walnut so much more than I liked this with the subsequent dye baths. So I decided to keep one of each base just as it originally was. So this was the very first dye bath. And then because the others had come out so much paler, I decided to do the iron experiments on what as I was exhausting the dye bath and they were getting paler, I decided to combine the iron with those to help bring in some more color, interest to those. All right, so first, these are really interesting too. This is on 2 different bases as well. So this was dipped in the iron, completely dipped in the iron. So, let's see. So these are just 2 different bases, but basically solid colors. So the ivory one is, all right. So the sock yarn, we'll start with the sock yarn. So the sock yarn, so this is the same base as the oak leaves yarn that I just showed you. This was the first dip in the dye bath, and then this was second dunk in the walnut dye bath, and then with the iron after bath. So it altered the color to, it's really interesting. Like, hanging up to dry in my bathroom, then it just started looking like, okay, I've got a whole million shades of gray now. Like, I went from having a whole bunch of shades of brown, and now I've got a whole bunch of shades of gray. But as they dried, there's colored undertones to this. Like, can you guys see, like, this to me seems to be more of like a khaki. It's like, it's not gray, kind of has like a greenish undertone to it, right? Like, I don't know that I would want to use these together in a project, but on their own, like, they're each such a fantastic neutral, right? And so I did that. So this is original, and then with an iron after bath, all on that one base. And then on the other base, so then another base that I had that I was trying out it's 70% extra fine merino wool, 20% royal alpaca, and 10% mulberry silk. So these are all fingering weight yarns, by the way. I only got fingering weight yarns. So you guys can let me know also. I think I'm going to continue at first here with fingering weight yarns, just because I don't have a lot of, I'm not going to have a lot of yarn, just until I can invest more in this little business and purchase greater quantities of yarn. I think at that point, I will eventually start adding maybe a worsted or a sport like DK weight. So you guys let me know, like, what other weight yarn would you like to see? But for this first, and for the next time I order yarn too, it's just going to be fingering weight, because at least we can get a lot of yardage even if we can't have a lot of skeins. Okay, so this is the mix of merino alpaca and silk. And so I did the same exact thing. I kept one as was from the first dye bath, and then this is like the khaki greenish kind of color after dipping it in the iron. And so it's so interesting to me how it's not gray, it's not brown. Would you call this, I don't know if it's like a taupe. I would think more of like a khaki. Like it definitely is like, has a greenish tone to it, but it's not green. This is definitely not green. Like it's the weirdest thing. It's like a color you can't name. I don't know. So then those are those, right? And then I did the same thing with the singles. So this one is a singles. It is 100% merino, fine organic merino wool. And so I had one from the initial dye bath of that, and this is how it turned out in the afterbath with the iron. So I did the same exact process on all three bases, and then I still had, I had 3 more skeins that I did in the walnut, but one of them I showed you, and I'll dig it out again in a second. One of them I had blended with avocado. So I only had one of the singles left and one of the alpaca silk merino mix to play with. So I did the same thing that I showed you with the oak, and I dipped half of it into the iron and half of it I left just neutral. So just to give you an idea, now you guys can see how much. So all right, so these are both the singles. So this lighter color that you see at the top there, that was how pale a second dunk in the dye bath turns out. So it came out like significantly lighter. So yeah, so that's actually, I wasn't starting with this when I dunked it in the iron afterbath. I was starting with this, which was so much paler. And yeah, so starting with this got me this color, not really starting with this. If I were to do this, it would probably be much darker, but I don't want to do this because I really like that shade of brown. So yeah, so this is the 3 options. So like I did half of it so you can see it's beautiful. It's like a tannish, grayish, I don't know. It's just like a super neutral. But like I don't know that I'm feeling like these 3 together as a set at all. Like I feel like this brown is too different from what these are. So like I would do this one on its own, and like these could be a set, or they could just be each separate. So these are the questions I'm asking myself. Like, how do I list these? Do I want to create some sets and do some single skeins, or do I just want to do like everyone a single skein? So you guys will have to look at everything and then like weigh in. Let me know. Like if you're really interested in something that you see here, like let me know. Would you want just a single skein? Would you want it combined with a couple other colors? Just so that I have some clue. Okay, and then so the last one is on the ivory base. So that is these 2, right? Yeah. All right, so we started out with this deep brown, and then what I was working with when I dunked it was this tanner brown, this much paler brown. And so this is a half dipped. So this one is a full-on dunked in the iron, and then this one was the half and half from that. And the initial brown that we got from the black walnut. So it's like we got this brown, and then I had this tanner brown that I was working with, and I created that with it. So yeah, I don't know how to describe the gray. It's kind of like got a hint of green in it. All right, so that is that everything? I showed you the singles already, right? Yeah, I did. I showed you these 3, the singles, and then this was the sock yarn. Okay, yeah, so the sock yarn, what I did was my paler skein, let me grab it. So I don't have the paler version of the sock yarn to show you because I combined it with avocado. So it was like a much tanner version of this, and then I combined that with avocado. So like, I don't know, would these 3 look good as a set together? These are all this, yeah, these are all the same base. So these are all a sock yarn base. So like, would these 3 go well together, or are they too similar? What do you guys think? Let me know. You guys have a lot of commenting to do in this section. Okay. All right, so that's it for browns. Let's move on to, well, since I just dug out the avocados, let me show you what I did to the avocado yarn. It's so pretty. I don't know if you guys are gonna be mad at me for messing with the avocado yarn because the avocado yarn was so pretty last time. But it is still so pretty, it's just very different than you saw last time. And I'm debating whether one of these should be a 5 skein fade or splitting it up into a 2 and a 3 skein, or I don't know. Let me see. I think I'm gonna hold it up as a fade so that you guys can see. You ready? So this is what I have now for avocado. And I have 2 more skeins that are a combination skein too. They're so pretty. So this would be, should this be a 5 skein fade set? Are they too similar? Would you want them split up? Do you want just the pink avocado? Or do you like it combined with the iron to get this like dusty purplish gray? I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me show you. So let's go through it. We had, this was dye bath number 1 of avocado pits and skins. And this is on the merino wool. Now, I think these are all the same base. Yeah, these are all on the same base, so this could work as a set. So it's the merino alpaca silk blend. So each of these is 100 grams, so it's 437 yards, right? So like, all of these together could make like a cardigan, right? It could seriously make a sweater. Okay, so this was avocado, and the light I'm getting right now is really interesting too. It's like the clouds just went over. Again, like these look so different depending on the lighting and everything too. But this was the initial dye bath, how it turned out. So didn't do anything to this dye bath, just the very first dunk in avocado pits and skins. And I got this gorgeous, gorgeous pink. And you can see like it even, there's so much depth of tone. It's like a tonal already, right? I did not do anything to this. This is just how the avocado yarn came out. So then we had, from the same dye bath, I dipped half of this skein in iron, and I got this beautiful, beautiful skein. So the iron turns it to like a dusty purple. So these were from the same first dye bath, and then one of them is mixed with iron. Okay, so like these two could go together on their own. Then, I want to make sure that I am doing this with the same dye baths. Yeah. Okay, so this is an option. This could be either as a set, it could be on its own, or it could be part of like a 5 skein set. Okay, and so then you guys will remember from last episode that I had fun playing with ammonia, altering the pH level to bring out more of the pinks. So I changed this. So this, again, this was much, much paler to begin with, but I upped the pink level and I got this, a paler version of this, to change into that. right? So like these could go together too. But so far, this is what I've got. All right, so then this is with a different pH level. And so then I did one that was the whole entire thing in iron, right? So this is at a different pH level and what it turned out like. So it is like a purplish gray. It definitely looks super, super purpley gray. So those two together, and then I also did one, this is also at the higher pH level because it was such a pale version to begin with before I played with the pH. So this is a half and half one. So it's a variegated. So then these three could go together as a set as well. So it could be a 3 skein set, and it could be a 2 skein set, or this could be a 5 skein, a big like 5 skein fade, like that. I think is how. It's really hard to hold that up. Do it like this. Yeah. So again, it would look like kind of like that. So the lighter one, and then the higher. So then the lighter one with a little bit of the purple gray, and then you know, because you fade it, right? So you're alternating skeins between all of these. So then it could look like that. So almost want to keep it for myself, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. But I also have 2 more, hold on. But I also had 2 singles yarns that I did. So these I cannot mix with these because the bases are too different. And these are both so gorgeous. So these are both half and half original dye bath, much more faded though, like not the original one. This one, oh, this one was the original one. Okay. This one was the first dye bath of the pink, but it's half dipped in iron. So it's another variegated one. I might have to keep this one for myself though. Or this one, or this is, with the ammonia pH level up, and yeah, so this is how that one looks, and it is so pretty. So these are both the singles, so it's just a singles base. These can't go together, I don't think. I think that they look too different, and it's so funny. I think you really need like the solids in there to help fade it all together, because I think that the tones of these just look too different. But I think each of these are going to be sold either completely on their own, both of them, or I might take one for me and make like a shawl or something, because I'm kind of in love, and I feel like I don't think I can keep 5 skeins for myself. I think that's like most of what I have to even offer you guys. But there's more, because I have all those yellows too, you guys. This is like the longest segment ever, but it is so exciting. All right, and we're gonna break this up as well. So now we're gonna talk about the amazing yellows that I got from this mulberry tree. The light, it's so interesting. Like my light just totally changed on me. So these color, I mean, they look amazing. I have no idea how the light, like the sun is just gone right now, but it's still daylight out. Weirdest thing ever. Okay, so I used so many mulberry leaves, and I got this amazing yellow. This color yellow, I don't think I've ever quite seen this color yellow before. It is glorious, right? So I did the same thing, and this is what it looks like after being dunked in the iron. And it is so fascinating because it's such an interesting shade of green, but I don't know how much you'll be able to see on the camera, but there's so many yellow undertones to this. I just think it's gorgeous. This one looks so tonal, like there is so much depth of color in here, right? So I've got one of each of these, and then I went and did the other 2 that I had of the yellow, and I made a variegated by dipping half of it in iron. So like these together, I don't know, like should these all go together or should I spread the welt? I could do either like a set with like these two together, these two together, or like these two could go either together or on their own, or like it could just all, like these two could go together to somebody who wanted more yardage, like 800 yards of this, or it could all go together, or they could all be separate. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I love it all, and I don't know what to do. Okay, so this was the initial dye bath with that amazing yellow, right? And then the same thing happened when I did subsequent dye baths. The yellow got so pale, beautiful pale yellow, but like it was blowing out on camera. Like you really couldn't even tell that it was yellow at all on camera. Like that's how much it was blowing out. That's how pale it was. So I'm gonna get that and show you what I did. You can even see like how much this is gonna blow out a lot too. Okay, so this one is a different base. What base was that? That one was on the sock yarn. All of those? Wait, yeah, so all four from that first dye bath were on the Stratus, which is the sock yarn. And then I did a second dye bath, but I did not do it on the sock yarn. I did it on different bases. So this second dye bath was just trying to exhaust the dye bath. So I got this super, super pale yellow. So just, you guys probably remember, like you can see like such a difference. And I mean, these could go together, but they are on different bases, and I just don't love them together as much as with the other colors. So we started out with this super pale yellow. It's super pretty. It is blowing out a lot, but I think that you guys can tell that it's basically, if you think like baby blanket yellow, that's what this is. So if you're like having a hard time seeing it on camera, just think baby yellow, and that's exactly what we have. And so then I did something a little bit different. Like with this one, I dipped it in the iron after bath, but at different levels. So like I didn't just dunk half of the skein in there and had it like half of this and half of this. Like I tried to make kind of like a gradient with it within itself. And so actually every bit of this was in the iron after bath. There's no part of this particular skein that is still this shade of yellow. But I mean, like you can still see, but there was a part of it that I like put in for like the briefest amount of time. Yeah, so now I've got this beautiful, I think you guys can kind of see. I filmed a video too, just showing the colors of the iron, and I had the hardest time with these pale skeins getting the color to actually represent what it is. So I'm kind of curious to see what this looks like on video. But yeah, I think I have some pictures that I can insert if it's not showing up very accurate. So this is like a tonal of different depths, different amounts of time, different sections of the skein in the iron afterbath for different amounts of time. All right, so then I had two of the singles base, and so I did the same thing. Like I made like a gradient by dipping it in the iron bath. I think I did leave like just a tip of the original pale yellow. These are so blowing out. It is so hard to see, but I think these are so pretty. So pretty. So I've got like two of these singles that could either be sold separately or combined. Probably what I would do is offer them separately, and then if somebody just wanted to purchase 2, they could. I'm so tempted to keep, I want to keep everything for myself, but I know that I can make it again. It's never going to be exactly the same though, which is like both exciting and frustrating. So like I'm never going to get exactly these same colors. So these are like, they're really unique. Yeah, so you got, that is everything. I'm so thrilled with how these came out. So again, this was just different amounts of time in the iron after bath for different sections of the yarn. So I put like the bottom part of it in for like a while. And then after like a few minutes, I would put a little bit more of the yarn in, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more until like only the tip was left. So that it's like a really pretty gradient. Really like it. It's so pretty. I don't know. I actually like these so much, and I like these so much better than just the pale baby yellow. So that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, please comment below, and I want input from you. If you're interested, and if you're not interested in buying any of this yarn, that is fine. There's no hard feelings. I am excited to be doing this, and even though I want to keep all of the yarn for myself, I have so much beautiful yarn in my stash that I will keep a couple of things here and there for myself, but I really want to share it with all of you. And a lot of the fun for me right now is the whole dyeing process, and just hands-on getting like the leaves and the wood from the branches, and eating the avocados, and you know, all of these things. That's like the possibilities that go through my mind when I either eat something or forage something. They get me so excited, and this is just like an outpouring of how excited natural dyeing is making me, and I want to be able to share that with you in a more tangible form, so that I know that some of you are really get excited, and I know that some of you are doing this yourself now too, which is fantastic. So yeah, whether you want to purchase some of this yarn or you are just inspired to try dyeing some of it yourself, yes, do it. Thank you. I am so glad that I am motivating some of you guys to just go out and do this yourselves. And it is easy, it is time consuming, it is a slow process. So I mean, if you think about it, because I altered a lot of these colors with the iron, like this was like a full month's work. Now, if I were doing this on as the only thing I was doing, I would have multiple dye pots going at once. This is not what that is going to be. I am a professional musician and a teacher, and so like that is my full-time work, is my profession, and being a mom. So this is just like a really exciting little side thing that I am just enjoying doing. And I've just found that I have been dedicating so much of my time to doing it that I wanted to just be able to do larger quantities of things and share. So yes, if I were really doing this, I would have so many dye pots and so many different colors going all at the same time. And that would help speed it up a bunch. But you know, I don't, and this is just me, and I'm learning, I am experimenting. Some of these colors, like avocado and the oak leaves, I had already done before. And then like the mulberry leaves and the black walnut, this was my first go at it. And this was also my very first time using the iron at all. So yeah, I was so excited by the results, and I have so many more things just waiting to get in the dye pot that I just need yarn. So that's why, like, I mean, I need to sell some of this so that I can buy more yarn so that I can keep dyeing. I just need to like reinvest. So if any of this interests you, yeah, it's gonna go in a shop. Probably I'm gonna start a little Etsy shop, but I really want to know, should I sell 27 individual skeins. Should I wait another month or so until I have more yarn and can dye more and have more to offer? And then, are you guys, like, did you see something? Let me know if you saw something that you would want to buy as a set, if you were lucky enough to be the person that happened upon it first. Or yeah, so should I break this down and have like really just a handful of listings for a few sets, for a few sets of yarn with some single skeins? Excuse me. Should I just do all single skeins, or should I do it in bunches of things, but maybe wait to open until, because I think I can invest right now in a little bit more, probably to double this quantity of yarn. So I'm also thinking of maybe holding off and doing like some things in sets, but holding off another like handful of weeks or a month or something until I have like double the amount that I can put in the shop. So yeah, this is just like batch 1. So I'm so curious to know what you guys think, and I'm so excited by all of it. And that is all for this video. Leave me comments, let me know your thoughts. What are your favorites? What would you love to see me dye for the next batch of yarn that I am going to be ordering this weekend? And thank you all so much for watching. I am Lisa from Stop, Drop, and Knit, and oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited thinking about all the possibilities. Okay, I've got to say goodbye. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and thank you all so much. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.